Daniel Geronimaz, and this is Making Pizza with Daniel Part 2. First part we showed you how to make the dough. Now we're going to show you how to decorate the pizza. So you have your pizza pan. I would suggest buying one that kind of looks like this, a nice thin round pan made specifically for pizza. It'll cook better. Preheat the oven to 500 degrees, which is rather hot. And if you can, buy a pizza stone. You can go online and see what those are. You put that at the bottom of your oven. As you're preheating it, you're preheating the stone. So to spread the dough, take some oil. We happen to use canola oil because it's healthy. And just spread the oil over the pan. Then take some cornmeal. Just put a little bit of cornmeal on the pizza pan on top of the oil. Just gives it a nice crusty look to it. I've taken the dough that we made, I've cut it in half since we made 2 doughs at a time. We're going to put that on there. We're going to take a little more oil in our hands to spread it out. Now be gentle when you spread out the dough. You don't want to make any holes in it, although this looks like a pretty thick dough for whatever reason. And spread it out. Again, you can see I'm using the flats of my hands. This is a rather thick dough, by the way. Get it right to the edge, even over the edge, because you're going to find that it will shrink a little bit. You can turn it and pinch it if you want to kind of make a crust. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This is thick, so I am going to make the crust. Now that the dough is spread, what you're going to do is make your sauce. I use Tutto Russo crushed tomatoes. It's about a 28-ounce can. Scott Wiener of Pizza Tour fame in New York City did a taste test on a whole bunch of cans of tomato sauce. He found that in a blind taste test, I think of like 15 or 20 different brands, that was the best brand, and it's pretty cheap. So I put some pepper in. We're also going to put just a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, and you can see very little, some Italian seasoning, some whole oregano, and finally, some salt. Just to give the sauce some extra flavor. And again, just mix that together. You don't have to whisk it or anything like that. Just try to make sure everything's mixed. Okay, now this is enough sauce, by the way, the 128-ounce can for 2 pizzas. So take half the sauce and just spread it out with your ladle. You want to get close to the edge, but don't go over the edge. So there is some kind of a delineation and you have a crust. Take a little bit more. And again, you do want to try to get it nice and even so everyone likes sauce, right? So everyone wants their own sauce. Okay, we're almost done. Now, I've taken mozzarella cheese. You can use fresh mozzarella. You can use regular mozzarella cheese that you get like Polly-O or Biazzo, whatever the names are. Really no difference between the two. If you are going to buy mozzarella that is not fresh, I suggest you buy the low moisture mozzarella. That's usually in the dairy case where you would get your cold cuts. You can buy a whole block of it. Cheapest I've seen it is about $4.99 a pound. So you take your mozzarella, I've sliced it. Try to make it as thin as possible. Okay, so now you've got your mozzarella cheese on. Take a little bit of Romano cheese that you've grated. Not Parmesan, Romano, because Romano gives it a lot more flavor. And then last but not least, I like to put more oregano on. I feel it gives it a lot of flavor. And you are done decorating the pizza. In the oven that you've preheated to 500 degrees, what I do is put the pizza on for about 10 minutes, again with the pizza stone at the bottom of the oven. Put the pizza right with the pizza pan on the pizza stone. Cook it for about 10 minutes, turn it, probably cook it for another 8 minutes, turn it again, and then after that you're going to have to keep checking it every 3 or 4 minutes. In fact, we have one in the oven now that's been in there for about, I would say, 15 minutes or so. And you can see this is getting done. And you want to lift it up, look underneath especially, because you can be fooled by looking up top. This definitely has some time to go, not much more, but we like it really well baked. And if you want optimum taste, you should bake it well. When the pizza's done out of the oven, be careful, it's very hot. Put it on a surface, on a board or on a gas range to let it cool off, and then wait for a few minutes before you start to cut it up. Cut it up, and the best part of all about making pizzas, either part 1 or part 2, is part 3, which we don't have to show you, and that's eating the pizza. Until next time, this is Daniel Charnamas signing off. Bye.